Hey there, Agile Adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Product Owner and DGIF episode this week with Lai-Ling Su. Hey, Lai-Ling, welcome back.
Hey, Vasco. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. So we'll talk about great product owners in a minute. But to get us started in this Friday episode, Lai-Ling, share with us what was potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
I laugh because this one is so persistent, but it's also one of the topics that I'm most fond of when working with product people. So unclear decision rights. That is the one thing that keeps showing up for me in the product space at all levels over and over and over again. That is such a big anti-pattern.
Can you give a more specific example? When you think about unclear decision rights, what would be something that you've witnessed in practice that would illustrate that?
So, as an example, I was working with a general manager in a multinational who effectively worked in the capacity of a chief product officer role. And one of their biggest complaints was that his head of product kept coming to him for decisions that he thought that they should be making themselves. So, for example, he'd been given, I think it was 10 mil a year to run his teams and build the products and create the outcomes that he wanted. But this head of product kept going back and deferring to the GM on decisions that were within that 10 mil range, totally within the realm of his accountability. But the GM just felt like, it was getting past all the decisions upwards and wasn't able to completely let go. That was one scenario where there were unclear decision rights, because when I was in a coaching conversation with the GM, I asked him one question that stopped him in his tracks. And I said, does your head of product know that he has the rights and the authority to make the types of decisions that you want him to? And the GM just sat there quietly in shock for a good minute or two.
Let me ask a follow-up question there, because I can totally see are you sure your product owner believes that they can make those decisions or thinks that you allow them to make those decisions? But then I can raise you've already told the PO that they can make those decisions, but they still don't make those decisions because of whatever reason. And there's many. Could be fear, lack of experience, not being able to get all the ducks lined up, right? Like getting all the stakeholders to agree, not being able to say no to the people that are pushing so many other things onto their backlog that they have no way of doing whatever they think should be done in the first place. Because what I'm thinking here is, I see the GM aspect, and that totally exists, but I also see this aspect of product owners that kind of push to that role, which is an incredibly entrepreneurial role with first no experience, and we talked about that yesterday, the lack of entrepreneurial experience. Yes. But then also no ability to think strategically. We also talked about that yesterday.
Yes.
And so I see this kind of as a cocktail as well. Like, how do you see it? Do you see the same?
Absolutely. Because, I think there is a degree of also learnt helplessness in this scenario where a product owner may see that their head of product or head of engineering or some other person in their realm um, is always constantly making the decisions. And so they go, well, they're great at making decisions. I'll just defer to them. And so they never learn to make these decisions themselves and they handicap themselves through learned helplessness.
Yeah, I think the learned helplessness is definitely a uh, kind of a dynamic to look out
Mm,
for because it detracts from even the ability to imagine that we could do better, right? Like
yep,
it keeps us in that corner waiting to be told what to do and never really even daring to share the ideas we might already even have as product owners.
absolutely. So I think there are multiple layers to this. There's the assumption that people know what their decision rights are. And then there is the, I know my decision rights, but I don't know how to make these decisions. And then there is the, I kind of know what my decision rights are, but every time I go and make them, I get trumped. And so, even if I make those decisions, somebody else comes over on top of me and undoes my decision. And so, what's the point? So, there are both explicit and implicit unclear decision rights there as well. You could tell somebody, but underneath it's sabotaged. Or you could have not told somebody and then made the assumption clear and everything's okay. So there are so many dimensions and dynamics of this unclear decision rights pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. It's actually many potential patterns happening at the same time. But there aren't only anti-patterns. There are also great, amazing product owners out there. So
Mm.
Lai-Ling, share with us potentially the best product owner you've ever worked with. How did they work?
I'm thinking about a phenomenal product owner that I worked with about 12 months ago now, I think. And what made her phenomenal was that she wasn't just technically strong on everything you'd expect a product owner or an experienced product professional to be. She was also a leader of product professionals as well. She had, I think, a team of 10 alongside her. Her team loved her because she took the time to mentor them and build their product skills out to be as strong or stronger than hers. The business loved her because she was exceptionally commercial in her thinking, her influencing, and her decision making because she was thinking about customer value, revenues, expenses, profit models, and marketing aspects of products long before they even built anything. And she also kept holding everyone true to doing the right thing and not just getting something out the door when the pressure was on. And then the executive team loved her because she was an incredible operator whose greatest strength was her ability to build solid, impactful relationships that transcended boundaries. And, she removed the us versus them mentality that we talked about earlier in the week. And she broke down those departmental silos. She dealt with the politically charged, highly sensitive, high stakes scenarios. She negotiated with difficult personalities amongst her technology, legal, compliance, sales, operations peers. She removed the impediments that her teams had, like very, very responsively. And she just got stuff done when others couldn't. And what made her great was the fact that she focused not just on her technical prowess, but on the people politics and the performance side of product. And she used that to turn ambition into reality, and she used that to move strategy to execution. And it's really hard to find people like that who can flex up and down, left and right, and be so malleable in their craft. So that's what made her a phenomenal product owner, in my view.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, what stands out is this ability to build the right relationships that then ultimately allow to get things done. Because it really is, especially in software, as it is at the moment. This is 2026, early 2026. As it is at the moment, it's all about people and how we relate to each other. And we need to realize that as leaders, and mostly leaders that work through influence, like product owners and scrum masters, relationships are what get things done. It's not about having a better user story written, having a more organized backlog. It is about getting the right information in front of the right people and getting decisions made, triggering those decisions, kind of stewarding the process of having those decisions made. And I really like one perspective on this by Esko Kilpi. I'll put the link in the show notes, where he talks about this idea of interactive value creation. What he says in practice is that in software organizations, he talks about knowledge organizations, but I'll focus on software for now. In software organizations, value is created in the interaction between the stakeholders in what he calls a conversation. And a conversation for him wasn't just when two people meet like we are meeting today, but it's also what goes on through the emails, the wiki pages that are created, the side conversations that happen in the corridors, which we just call building relationships, right? Like it's this idea that a conversation about a decision can span multiple weeks and multiple events, and then culminate in a relationship. And a product owner, like you described, that is able to build relationships, is able to steward that process over time to get decisions made and ultimately things done, which is what matters.
I love your use of the concept of stewardship. Like that is a really, really good word to using in this scenario.
Yeah, because it speaks to the responsibility, but not necessarily the full ownership, right?
Yeah, it's the space between.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Lai-Ling, it's been an awesome week here. So many topics. We could have just gone for much more time, many more hours. A couple of bonus episode ideas already came up during this conversation. Before we go, though, Lai-Ling, share with us, where can people find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Find me on LinkedIn, probably the easiest way, and I think we'll pop a link down. Yeah, I also publicly practical output and traders on the topic of politics and performance expectations with your job as well. And so if you find me on LinkedIn, subscribe on all, and you'll get tricks in your inbox as well.
Absolutely. We'll put the link to the LinkedIn page, and why not everybody follow up, ask a few follow-up questions, learn together, because that's how we grow as a community. Lai-Ling, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge. All right, I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into no estimates, we got the pioneers of no estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. Agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with Agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.